In this module we're going to cover Pdca, or the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle. The definition of Pdca, or Plan, Do, Check, Act, is a framework that provides a methodical approach to problem solving and continuous improvement. Not just a 12-step cycle, it's a way of thinking. So why use Pdca? Human nature is to jump straight to solution mode. Fight the fires every time. You don't have a common understanding of the real problem, just go with what feels right, what your gut tells you is the solution, and no measures of whether that solution is a real success. The process approach allows time to plan. It's a structured approach to defining the problem, involve the right people, test and monitor solutions to ensure that the goals are actually met. So the Pdca cycle, 12-step cycle. First of all, select the project, explain the reason, set the goals, prepare the action plan, gather the data, analyze the facts, develop solutions, test those solutions, ensure the goals are satisfied, implement those solutions, monitor the solutions, and then continuously improve. So step 1, select the project. So when you're selecting a project, think about how you can identify that an area requires improvement. What inputs help you recognise if an area isn't conforming to the required standard. So some ways of doing this could be through Kaizen events or focused improvement teams. It could be through KPIs. It could be through production or team meetings. Some others would include failure modes and effects analysis, risk assessments, or customer feedback, whether that be internal or external. So step 2, explaining the reason. This is achieved by producing an agreed clear problem statement that uses facts and doesn't mention any countermeasures. So an example, after process X is finished, the operator on the machine is expected to inspect the product and then certify that the process has been successfully completed. However, the team leader on process Y complains that half of the time products arrive without having the correct certifications, which stops his team from doing their job. He has to spend on average 2 hours sorting the problem. He reckons that this has got worse since they changed the version of IT self-cert used 6 months ago. He and his team still haven't been trained, and they have taken IT self-cert access away from some operators. Production has also risen recently, putting strain on that resource. So, first example here, explaining that reason. Everyone needs to be trained on IT self-cert. More IT self-cert certification access is required, and more people are required on process X. This preempts countermeasures without understanding the problem. It's based on opinions, not facts. The second example, in the last 6 months, 50% of products arriving at process Y have arrived without proper IT self-cert certifications, causing on average 2 hours delay per occurrence. This states the facts, giving the frequency, timescale, and impact. Step 3, set goals. So using the previous example of process X and Y, to identify and implement the requirements that will ensure that 50% of products arriving at process Y have completed certifications within 6 months, rising to 100% by the end of the year. These are SMART goals, so specific, measurable, agreed, realistic, and time-bound. Step 4, the action plan. So specific action should be highlighted for completion. The key here is that plans should be time-bound and bought off by the relevant owner. So why are we undertaking the project? What are we going to do? What data is required? Who is responsible for each task? Who should be involved? How must it be accomplished? How do we review? Where can we find relevant data and facts? When must a task be complete? And do we need to give feedback? Step 5. Gather the data. The gathering data enables us to understand the current situation to discover the extent of a problem. Data provides the information required to analyse a problem. The data can be collected in a number of ways and forms, depending what problem we are trying to define. So this could be through interviewing people, getting histories out of the machine database, customer returns data, visit the shop floor, actually go and see what's going on. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to what people are telling you without going and seeing for yourself. So does it pass the show me test? Risk assessments, scatter diagrams, check sheets, or in short, any of the 7 quality tools. So when we're talking about the 7 quality tools, they're listed here. But it's important to use the correct tools to define the problem. Only then can relevant data be collected in an appropriate form to allow solutions to be generated and their effectiveness reviewed. These 7 quality tools are check sheets, histograms, scatter diagrams, control charts, flow charts, cause and effect analysis, Pareto analysis. And some of that tool deployment, this simply shows the situation that you're looking for, which tool to use. So when you're planning for data collection, what question do we need to answer? What data analysis tools are we going to use, and how are we going to communicate the results? Who in the process can give us the data? What type of data do we need to answer the question? Where in the process can we get the data we need? How can we collect this data from the individuals with minimum effort and error? When is the data to be provided? How much will it cost to collect the data? What additional information do we need for future analysis? So when we're looking at developing solutions, we're developing countermeasures by brainstorming all the potential root causes to the problem. When we're doing that, brainstorm in a group, prioritize the outputs, and then use the 5 why approach to get to the actual root cause. So remember, the customer protection is a temporary fix that solves the problem today. The countermeasure is the permanent solution that prevents the problem reappearing. So some tips for brainstorming. Have a clear and understood objective. Brainstorming requires group participation. It's about quantity, not quality initially. No criticism allowed. No idea is a bad idea. Don't work an idea during the session, just collect those ideas. One person should scribe those ideas onto the board or flip chart. Piggyback off the back of other people's ideas. Try and think outside the box. Run a session for around 15 to 20 minutes and have a break before analysing those ideas. Here's an example of the 5 whys. So, why has the machine stopped? The overload tripped out. Why is the overload trip gone? Insufficient oil on the shaft. Why is there insufficient oil? The oil pump's inefficient. So why is the oil pump not efficient? Pump drive shaft is worn. Why is the shaft worn? Because the oil filter is blocked with swarf. So step 8, test solutions. Once the countermeasures have been identified and prioritised, they have to be tested to assess the effectiveness. So think about how the success of potential solutions can be measured. Is a trial required? Maybe you need more data to be collected. Step 9, ensure goals are satisfied. So assess the success of the tested countermeasure by comparison with the goals set in step 3 and see if we've actually achieved those goals. If the goals haven't been met, then the following should be considered. Develop the existing countermeasure. Can additional countermeasures be developed? How appropriate are the goals? Re-evaluating those goals means a return to step 3 and start that phase all over again. Step 10, implement the countermeasures. So ensure everything is done to make a successful countermeasure become the new standard. If it meets the objective set, then it must become the standard way of working. All relevant people need to be informed, training needs to be identified and addressed, necessary documentation updated, and use standard operating sheets to document the new standard, and then also put controls in place to ensure those standards are adhered to. Next phase, monitor those countermeasures. So continuously gather the data and analyse the facts to monitor the effectiveness of that implemented countermeasure. Repeat steps 5 and 6 of the Pdca cycle to establish before and after situation. The individuals involved need constructive feedback after implementation to help maintain that continuous improvement. Then we need to celebrate that success. So step 12, continuous improvement. So by definition, the cycle of improving and ever raising the standard never stops. Ongoing process control can be used to ensure the performance of the countermeasures consistently meet the objective set. Improvement is infinite. By its name, it is continuous. So here you can see continuous improvement on that upward slope, and that is always wedged in place by standardization. Where there is no standardization, there cannot be improvement. Thank you.